Now, keeping on with this disaster fest that we got going on, there's another thing that's sliding in that I'm keeping an eye on that was just introduced, which has to do with the proposal of a new constitutional amendment to replace representatives in the time of murder, assassination, killing, or mass casualty events, to instantly replace them. And so we can go to this. It says, of course, we got the propaganda terms of lawmakers, which that's not exactly, or that's not what they're supposed to be, but that's what they are now. It says lawmakers propose amendment to address mass casualty events amid rising political tension. It says a constitutional amendment has been proposed by members of the House of Representatives to address a potential mass casualty event and discourage potential attacks and assassination attempts against U.S. lawmakers. According to the Washington Post, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats in the House of Representatives have proposed a constitutional amendment that would provide continued representation for American citizens, which we haven't had that in decades, but that's what they call themselves, that would provide continued representation for American citizens in the event of a potential mass casualty incident by allowing House members to be quickly replaced. Lawmakers have argued that the amendment would discourage people from committing violent acts to change the House's balance of power. Basically what they're saying is the only thing that this is going to change is the citizens aren't going to want to take these people out. No, they themselves are going to use this to take out their opponents so they can replace them with somebody else that will go along with the club and the agenda that they want to do. That's what it is. This is shifting from citizen violence to their own violence. It says we've seen 300% increase in threats against members over the last 7 years, according to the Capitol Police Representative Derek Kilmer, Democrat Washington. Recently, he's the one that put this into proposal. He recently said, in an environment where we have been there's seen a growing tendency towards political violence, imagine horrifically a baseball practice where someone has bad intentions and better aim. You can literally flip a majority for 3 to 4 months, which I think is a frightening incentive for political violence. The Washington Post reported that while Senate vacancies can be filled with temporary appointments, the U.S. Constitution currently requires that all vacancies in the House be filled by an election. Or just put in a little scribble S there now, even though that's not what the Constitution says, but that's how it operates now. The outlet noted that a survey of state election officials revealed that states typically need 3 or 4 months to hold a special election to fill vacancies. Kilmer warned that's actually a really long time to have a vacancy if you're in the midst of a national crisis. And they continue to make more and more crises to push along the agenda that they want to do. We'll just read this before I continue. Okay, it says the proposed amendment, which is also supported by Representatives Brad Wenstrup of Ohio, William Timmons of South Carolina, Emmanuel Cleaver II of Mo. Is that Montana? Is it Mo Montana? I'm bad with the little things. I can't even remember what they're called now. Man, I'm just making myself look real smart over here. I'm a pretty smart filler. Would require each member of the House to give at least 5 assets is Missouri. Okay, we'll go Missouri. That sounds right. Okay. At least 5 names from their political party to their state's governor that would be used to determine an interim appointee who would be selected within 10 days of a representative's death. The appointee would serve until a special election could be held. This is during a recent Committee on House Administration subcommittee hearing on the proposed amendment. Wenstrup urged Congress to consider the proposal as a way to remove any incentive for individuals to engage in political violence to change the balance of power in Washington, according to the Washington Post. Wenstrup pointed to the congressional baseball team attack in 2017 as an evidence of the need for the amendment. A violent domestic terrorist attempted to assassinate Republican members of Congress, Wenstrup said. He had names in his pocket, descriptions in his pocket. This was a clear assassination attempt, and he decided to use the murder or assassination as a tool for political change. He wanted to wipe out the Republican majority and change the balance of power. There's so many ways that this could be used for what they want to do, especially when you add this on to just a couple months ago. They basically granted dictatorial immunity to presidents now. You start throwing this in where they can just take out whoever they want and instantly fill it with somebody else. They're prepping for something. They are getting ready for something. I can't sit here and tell you what that is. Nobody can. If they say that they can, they're full of duty. But they're prepping for something. It's clear as day when we look at the moves that they've been making in a very short period of time, all at the same time frame. Now, you can see here, this is the actual proposal that they put through. I pointed out the first two sections. There's only 3 sections in it, but the first 2 are really what we need to pay attention to. It says, Section 1, immediately after taking the oath of office, an individual who is elected to serve as a representative in the House of Representatives shall provide the House of Representatives with a list of at least 5 designees to take the individual's place in the event the individual dies prior to the expiration of the individual's term of office. The individual shall ensure that the list only contains the names of designees who meet the qualifications for service as a representative in the House of Representatives. So again, make a list of 5 people that we can puppet around. And if there's somebody who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, just take them out, fill in the spot with a new puppet, and just keep it rolling. This is not only a backup plan for if somebody doesn't want to play the game, but this is a threat for others saying, we can now take you out very quickly and continue on like you were never there. And so people will fall in line because that's how Congress works. It's a bunch of con men. It's a bunch of puppets reading a script on how to do this stuff. Section 2 says, in the event of the death of a representative, the chief executive of the state involved shall not later than 10 days after the date of the death of the representative select an individual from the most recent list of designees provided by the representative whose seat is now vacant as provided by Section 1. And the Speaker of the House shall, which we know he's a giant puppet too, shall immediately fill the vacancy with the individual selected. An individual designated to take the place of a representative shall serve until another member is elected to fill the vacant pursuant to a special election. So they're just preparing, man. They're getting this stuff ready for whatever they have. Whatever they got cooking up, whatever they got planned. Some type of, again, blackmail threat type of situation, a backup in case somebody doesn't want to play ball. They can just change them out real quick to a mass casualty event. Whatever that may be, we don't know. We know something is coming, especially since if you just go back a few years ago, this was back in 2021, but or officially came out in 2017, but they've been working on loading up non-military agencies with weapons and ammo. We've even seen that they bought like full-on military armament for the IRS and all these groups out there as well. They are prepping for mass casualty. They're absolutely prepping for mass casualty. And again, this is the dismantling of the United States. We are the last thing that needs to go before things start going. There is a reason why America is not mentioned in the end. We need to become so insignificant that God did not find it necessary to even mention us in the end.